Here.
And for the fire department, we have Chief Wilcox.
Here.
Okay. We have no minutes to present from the last meeting because the last meeting just approved some minutes. The first case we have today is Circle Village. Is anyone here from Circle Village?
Point of order.
Yes.
I move that we rearrange the agenda to have Circle Village, to hear Circle Village last.
Okay.
Not to dismiss it, but to move it last. I'll send the owner.
We'll just put it on hold for now then. Okay. The second case before us is 1621 Needle Crest. It's a parking lot.
Yes.
Do we have someone here for that case?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, what you're going to need is, because you need a variance to have a parking lot in a U2 district, and a variance for parking regulations for an accessory use lot in the U2 district. So you need two variances, and because this is an accessory use in a more restrictive district, a U2, you need a conditional use for it. I looked at the drawing, they're not within any setbacks, they don't have any issues with any of that. These plans will be sent to our city engineer to make sure that structurally they're okay. But the zoning issues before us are two variances and a conditional use.
Mr. Secretary, can you elaborate on the variance? What variances that are needed?
The basic variance, you can't, in a U2 district, it only allows apartment houses and other structures. You can't have an accessory. If we had a parking lot that was accessory to the apartment houses, it would be okay. But this is a parking lot that's accessory to the church, and the church isn't adjacent to this lot. So this is a relatively independent accessory use from another district.
And then the second one?
The second one is basically from the parking code, which basically says unless we approve a conditional use, it has to be on the same lot or in a less restricted district and adjacent to. So we're giving them a variance to have a parking lot that isn't adjacent to the church, and that is an accessory use in a more restrictive R2 use. Once those two variances have been given, then we can make a recommendation for conditional use of council to do the parking lot.
So, Pastor, do you understand?
I understand he's saying it's across the street, and I guess that doesn't meet the current code or zoning.
The variances can be given here at this box.
Okay.
But the variances only allows us to recommend to City Council to give you a conditional use, which means that in order for that space to become a parking lot for your church, it needs council's approval.
Okay.
So here, you're really getting the variances that allow us to recommend to City Council.
Okay.
And your church has been in the community for a while. It was a vacant and abandoned structure that you had requested to be demolished for parking. I know that the administration supported that. We support all of our local churches. And I move that we grant the variances for this church in this parking lot. Do I have to do it one at a time, or do I have to do? Can I do it
one at a time?
Okay.
Well, we need to make a motion, and we need a second. So I've got a motion by Mr. Sedley. Do I have a second? I'll second that motion. Okay, Captain Lewis. Having heard that, we can have a discussion. I don't know that we hear from folks, but there was a request from people here.
We appreciate the councilman's remarks.
Thank you, Chief Stanley. Wanted to ask one question to Pastor. Your congregation is growing, right?
Correct.
Correct, and off-street parking is necessary, right?
Yes.
have my support.
Okay, is there any more discussion? Not hearing any more discussion, we'll take a vote on the first variances, which is 1123-012. The motion is to approve the variance. Can I call the roll? Chief Smedley?
Yay.
Okay, can I call Captain Wheeler?
Yay.
All right. And Chief Wilcox?
Yay.
Just make sure.
Okay. There are 3 yeas. The first motion was passed and approved. The second motion is a variance for 1143-01F.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we'll go with Chief Wilcox. Any discussion? Hearing no further discussion, we'll call the vote. Mr. Smedley?
Yay.
Captain Wilcox? No. Captain Wheeler?
Yay.
And Chief Wilcox?
Yay.
Okay, that approved. The only other motion we need is to make a recommendation to council to approve the conditional use.
I recommend that we recommend the council for conditional use for this property to become a parking lot for the church.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Having no discussion, I'll call the vote. Mr. Smedley?
Yay.
Captain Wheeler?
Yay.
And Chief Wilcox?
Yay.
Okay. If the variance has been approved, the motion has been approved, we'll then take this to legal, which will prepare a draft and a recommendation to council.
Council, would you state your name for the record?
Christopher Hinton, H-I-N-T-O.
And your church is located at 1621?
1968, no.
Okay.
Now, this goes to contracts and properties, right? I mean, this is under the purview of contracts and properties. Conditional uses.
Yeah, I know we said the council, I don't know exactly which
Okay.
person we said.
Okay.
Okay, that basically concludes the case for 16021 Neelecrest. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll contact you with any further you want, what's going on.
Okay.
And I will send these plans to the engineer so he can approve the water, the size of the drain and the other materials.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Passing. Thank you.
All right, take care.
The next case before us is a public space on Euclid and Superior. It's basically a sign and an artwork. They need several variances to install a sign. First off, no sign can be installed in the public right-of-way unless it's on behalf of a public government body. So they would need a variance for this sign. They also are proposing 2 signs. One sign is more or less a piece of artwork. The second sign is a Welcome to East Cleveland sign. So they would be, and they do have, this would also have to go to the Architectural Board of Review. We also don't allow freestanding pole signs, although it's my understanding that the pole sign may not be coming to this location.
If we can erect, the original piece was to be a signpost and then a post saying welcome to East Cleveland, so we wanted to go with that.
They have come up with a couple other locations. One was there's a triangle at Hayden and Phillips for a possible location. And we also own a park on Belvoir in Hillcrest. There's a corner there which, if they're trying to do the work of art kind of thing, might be better located. It's not as confusing as the location is down there.
Belvoir in Hillsborough?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're Chris.
I'm sorry, Hillsborough.
So that's right behind the
Can you move up here first, and then secondly, name and organization for the record? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm Jay Addison, representing N.O.A.H, Northeast Ohio Alliance for Hope. I wanted to ask a question for Austin, wanting to plant flowers at that site as well. Would that be allowed?
Well, we're only here about the erection of the sign.
We're here about the sign. The flowers can be taken up with the Architecture Review Board when you get to go to them. They'll discuss more of that kind of thing. So basically, if they need a variance because we don't allow, they need a variance first off with these signs in the right of way. They also need a variance because we don't allow pole signs in the city anymore, and that basically is a pole sign. Okay. So if their Welcome to East Cleveland sign is that we don't allow any taller signs, so if it's 4 feet off the ground, it could possibly be built as a ground sign as opposed to a pole sign. And if it's made as a ground sign, then I think you could go 4 feet. Or if you wish to seek a variance to say you could put it up 6 feet. The problem is, how much will that block the line of sight on those corners? Because the original plan was for a 4-foot sign hanging about 6 feet up, which is fairly much in everybody's line of sight.
I'm just trying to get a view of the intersection, not the sign.
Well,
but the
there's
right behind the daycare.
Oh, okay.
The signpost was going to be 6 feet tall, but the post that says Welcome to East Cleveland was only going to be,
Where is it?
oh,
It's in your record.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking for the. Okay, I don't have that.
It's on the left.
So, oh, on the median here.
Yeah.
I mean, this median here.
Yeah.
So you're talking behind the daycare in the four-way. Is that what you?
That's the same, a picture of the same intersection.
You're talking about this median thing, right?
yeah.
There's no daycare over there.
It's going there.
It's the median.
That's on the corner of Superior and Euclid.
Is this Superior Union?
Right, that's
Yeah.
the median.
I thought we were talking about the
No,
Superior,
those were
I mean,
alternative sites that they could.
the
Oh,
bell.
okay. All right.
Oh,
So this, you were saying that this is, that we have to certify this being using
Yeah.
the drivers? I mean, thesis. I know.
If it's not, they require a variance from this board to do it. And if you chose to give them the variance, they can do it.
I have a few questions. First of all, isn't this up off the ground, right? This is elevated. And we're doing a welcome to the city of East Cleveland sign. Not downtown East Cleveland, but East Cleveland, like you're just entering East Cleveland.
Well, yeah, Welcome to East Cleveland. What we have drawn up. Do you have suggestions for downtown East Cleveland?
It's just my thought.
How would that
Valid
sign
is-
be orientated on the island of meeting?
Well, it would be placed in the middle.
I know, but would it be parallel to the length of it, or would, how?
Is the sign facing Superior? Is it facing Euclid?
Well, we would have it, we would make it a two-sided sign, so you would be able to see it as you're coming down Superior, and you'd be able to see it as you're going across the lake. Does that make sense?
Got a corner.
So it'll be like this.
We're at
No,
45.
it would be together, so on either side, it would say, on either side of the sign, it would say the same thing,
Okay.
so as you're,
All right, I see. So if this is Euclid Avenue, the sign is going to face that
Like
way.
this.
So you can see it coming off Superior, and then you can,
yeah.
yeah, I think it's parallel with Euclid Avenue.
Okay.
It's just my thought that signs that say welcome to the city of East Cleveland will be at the borders of East Cleveland.
Yeah. Or at destination spots. You know, it's sort of like downtown, so it's like a destination spot.
That's what I was saying. Should it say welcome? Just a thought. I'm not saying change your sign. Saying should it say downtown East Cleveland versus welcome to East Cleveland? Welcome to downtown East Cleveland. That's right.
So you have all these sponsors: N.O.A.H, Social Justice Institute, Case Western, Team Collaborative, Shaw High Band Director.
Well, the Team Collaborative, the East Cleveland Team Collaborative, and the Shaw High Band Director, they were going to, they were just doing some collaboration with us.
On this sign.
Yes, the East Cleveland Team Collaborative was going to be working with Ed Parker from Sneaker Fritz Gallery on the actual artwork, but that was when we were going to do the signposts. Now, to the best of my knowledge, with just the sign that says welcome to the city of East Cleveland, since there won't really be any art added, then I'm assuming that Ed Parker will be the one, so I don't know whether or not the East Cleveland Team Collaborative will still be involved.
Where's the Shaw Band Directors involved?
It was suggested by the Social Justice Institute Art that the sign focus around the Shaw High School Band. And so this is a drawing that we came up with Ed Parker and the director of the Institute, as well as Trevelle Harp, the director of N.O.A.H, that the signpost would look something like, you know, a tribute to the Shaw Band, and it would name the places that they've been.
Huh. So is this temporary or permanent?
It'd be permanently placed around. It's about a foot. The island is about a foot deep where you get concrete. And so you place the posts, you know, within the ground and then secure them with metal flanges.
Secure them to what?
To the concrete.
And who would actually install it?
Ed Parker, with the help of the Team Collaborative, the student Team Collaborative.
Yeah, you'd have to get an engineered plan for it, once you understand what you're doing.
So at Euclid Superior, are we erecting this sign or this sign?
Well, I think what Mr. Lavelle is saying is that we cannot erect this sign.
But it's up to the purview. I had just talked to Trevelle a few minutes ago, and he said if it's easier, they'll forego that sign at this time. However, if you wish to approve it, you can go ahead and do it.
My concern is the safety of it from the strong wind, winter weather, how it's secured, that it's not blowing, that is a foot down enough?
It's going to be secured concrete. You wouldn't make it-
They have to provide the proper engineering for this. And when they do that and they hire an engineer, he will calculate the wind loads and the other loads that will go to this and recommend proper method of anchoring.
And then, right, because that is like, and then the other part is going to be hanging by chains, I see, right? You'll be hanging by something.
That is one
Which
of
is
the
gonna
other
blow in the
concerns,
wind.
because it can blow in the wind, and if they want to do it, that's why I suggested they go to a round style sign where they put a post on both sides and the sign is held securely in it.
Okay. Because the wind-blown sign thing, is that 4 feet or 4 inches?
4 feet.
Yeah,
4
hanging
feet
by-
by 4 feet.
hanging by chains, yeah, that, the safety is just ridiculous. And it's in the middle of 35-mile-an-hour traffic, and it blows off and hits somebody's car, which can cause unspeakable damage and wreckage. So, yeah, you would have to come up with a different design. And then the securing of a pole, period, we have to ensure that however it's to be secured, it is secured enough that it can withstand high winds and bad weather, and that it doesn't blow off and be used, now it becomes a javelin at a strong wind and it goes to somebody's windshield.
Are there any potential visibility issues as far as traffic patterns or pedestrians?
So I wouldn't necessarily I mean, where the island is, you know.
The only visibility issue is negated because of the turnoff to the right-hand lane.
Yeah.
Okay, so there will be no
Which is
impact.
one way.
Right.
Okay.
So it's designing a sign that can withstand the elements. And it's securing it.
You suggesting we bring an engineer on board?
For someone who has the knowledge.
The simplest way to do it was go to an architect or an engineer who can, there is a section in your Ohio building code on signs. And it does describe the wind loads, the snow loads, that
Okay.
kind of thing. They design it to meet those, they're okay. It's my understanding now that to a certain extent, as opposed to the hanging sign, you would go with a ground sign approach.
Yes, sir.
And you're still looking to get the pole sign at this time. It's still on the table.
No. We're willing to forego the pole sign.
Okay. So at this point, we're just dealing with the Welcome to East Cleveland sign.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm curious, you did mention the Belvoir Hillsborough location as well, right?
Well, we have plans, we're doing a series of beautification projects, so this will be the first project, and then the Patterson Park, that will be the second, and then the Hillsborough area will be the third plan.
But for me, it's how do you erect a sign that will not become projectiles in high winds? That I can see the one by Patterson Park because you know you can put it down deep and you can go down 3 or 4 feet, right? So that makes it more secure. But to go down 12 inches and then to use some bolts to secure it, you know, I'm concerned about that. So there's really the safety aspect of it on a street that, you know, traffic moves at 35 miles an hour.
And it's not that this would interfere with traffic as much as it would be a curiosity for people wanting to see what it says.
But if in fact the elements move that sign and take it off its base or any portion thereof, you're talking about someone having to stop at 35 miles an hour versus 25 miles an hour. So the security of the actual structure, the apparatus that holds the sign, is of utmost importance. So we need to know how that's going to be done and does it meet the requirements for the elements. If we get 60-mile-per-hour winds, 70-mile-per-hour winds,
Security almost like street lights.
yeah, how deep does it normally go in order for it to be secured?
If they're,
Consider it
yeah,
secure.
if they, I can take it at this point you withdrew the pole sign, so
Yes,
that's
we
no
will
longer
do
on
the
the
pole
table?
sign.
Okay, thank you. The other sign, if they decide to make it as a monument sign or a ground sign, can be built on a concrete base and secured within that facility with the right engineering, so it won't be an issue.
Okay.
And then we don't need a variance for a pole sign. We still need a variance for them to put this sign in the public right of way. With the restriction, it'll be limited to 4 feet, it'll be a monument sign.
Okay, because I'm willing to support it based on conditions. Can I put a motion on the floor for that?
Sure.
You know, I make a motion that we support the sign on the condition that the proper engineering is done in order to secure the sign to withstand the elements.
Okay, and could I just suggest you might want to add to that we want to limit the height to 4 feet?
Oh, and limit the height to 4
And have
feet.
it be a ground sign.
And have it to be a ground sign. So I make a motion that we approve the sign based
Approve
on
the variance.
the variance, I'm sorry. Approve the variance based on the condition that the engineering supports the safety of it, that it supplies the elements, that is no higher than 4 feet, and that it is a ground sign.
Okay.
Now I have a question. I'm sorry.
There's a motion on the floor.
Motion on the floor, do I have a second?
I would second the motion. Second the motion with the same design.
Okay. First and second, now we have discussion.
when you say, engineering plans, more specific on what it is that you would want the engineer to provide?
Basically, as I said, the Ohio Building Code does have a section that refers to signage. It has within it the wind loads and the construction methods that, would apply. You would get an architect or an engineer to stamp these plans and submit them so he knows they meet the basic requirements.
Just for discussion, as the Chief Woodcock can tell you, in that intersection, in my tenure here, we pulled a few cars off of that, that piece of property that have actually went airborne and things of that nature. And I think we did one right off the top of the one, some up against it. So just concerns to, if damaged, it would be the responsibility of the drivers at that point.
But this variance sends it to council, right?
No, this will not go to council. It's not a conditional use.
And me personally, I don't have a problem either. So I mean, you pulling the other sign out, I thought it was pretty clever.
I love the old Beijing on it too.
I think it means a lot because East Cleveland's known for the thing. Nothing else.
So why aren't we doing that one now?
I just thought it'd be, easier to get disapproved if we forego the signposts and effort to try to complete the project.
I wouldn't give up on this.
That's why I kept saying the Belvoir and Hillsborough, because to me that should be more of a point where you have a welcome to East Cleveland sign.
Right.
Because that's more like entrance into the city.
I also understand too, I mean, I think the sign is, neither sign is a problem for me at that location. And like I said, if anybody needs, if anyone needs to be told that they're on Euclid versus Superior, then they don't need to be guided.
Right, but my concern is projectiles.
Right now, we have
That's my concern.
we have a motion
we get
and a discussion about the.
I'd like to amend my
Well,
motion.
you get another motion, but you want to approve this one for the East Cleveland sign. Okay? Can I call the vote for that? Mr.
I don't
Smith?
know, hold on. I don't know if we want to call the vote for that, because I think the interest is more to this other side.
For the pole sign.
So why approve the motion on that side?
Well, we don't approve it. Now
Well-
let's make another motion.
You just make another motion. You're going to have to
Okay.
end up approving a motion for each sign.
Okay.
Because now the pole sign is going to require an extra motion because we don't approve pole signs in this city. So you have to A, approve it as B, a pole sign. B, you have to approve it because it's going to be 8 feet high. So there's two separate motions with that sign independent.
Okay, hold on. 8 feet high. I have to go down to the site, man. I gotta get it.
Well, 8 foot is what I got off of that, to the best of my knowledge.
Discussion.
8 foot secured by 12 feet under dirt and 12
This
inches.
sign is not going to be a 2x4 put into the ground. It is going to take some engineering
I thought I
support
saw
to
an
make it
8 by
happen.
8 pole. Yeah, 8 by 8 by 8 pole.
Square to pole.
Right.
And then it would be secured in place.
8 inches,
If you got wind, it can move an 8-inch pole.
8 by 8,
They call them tornadoes.
and 8 feet long.
Hey, but if it's improperly secured, a 20 mile per hour wind can move it.
Well, that's what I was saying.
My
As long as
concern
it's
is the,
secured, just
how
like
it's
we do
secured.
a street
I
light.
don't think we're not disagreeing.
well, we do it because it goes down about 3 or 4 feet. This goes down 12 inches.
The engineer's issue is, like you said, it's properly engineered, it's not a problem.
That's my only concern.
They have to secure it in.
So there's a motion on the floor. I guess we got
There's
a
a
vote.
motion on the floor for the East Cleveland ground sign, meeting the proper engineering of the OBC being 4 foot high and a ground sign. Mr. Smedley,
Yay.
Captain Wheeler,
Yeah.
Chief Wilcox.
Yeah.
Okay, that sign passed.
Now I'd like to make another motion.
Yes.
that we approve the variance for the pole sign.
Okay. We have a motion that will approve a
Same
pole.
location.
Same conditions?
Now,
Same conditions.
you get a second shot at
Okay,
that.
second
Let's
shot.
just pull the pole sign first. Any discussion on approving the pole sign? Hearing none. Smedley made the motion. Who seconded? Okay.
Chief,
Just put me.
Yeah, with me. Okay, I'll call the vote. Mr. Smedley?
Let me have some discussion first.
Oh, you want a discussion?
Just one
Sure.
quick question. So, when we approve this motion, that gives a choice of either side.
It does.
Who makes that choice?
The organization, we will make a recommendation to the
Okay.
organization.
All right.
Yeah, I would suggest that prior to them, when they get the engineering and they get better plans, they bring them back to us so that it meets with what we said. So you can do these conditions if you want.
Or is it my turn?
Yeah, we're in
Yeah.
discussion.
Can I say, if you guys approve the signpost, then we'll forego the welcome to the Cleveland sign.
So the choice has been made, if that gets approved.
Okay. So we have a motion for a variance to allow a pole sign.
We got something, just
Yeah.
take the roll.
Okay. Mr. Smedley?
Yeah.
Captain Wheeler?
Yeah.
Chief Wilcox?
yeah.
Okay. Now, we've got allowed the pole sign. We need a variance to allow the pole sign to be put into the right of way.
I make a motion that we approve a variance for the pole to be put in the right of way.
Okay. Mr. Smedley, second?
I'll second that with all the conditions of the engineering structure.
All right.
Oh, let me amend my motion.
All right.
I make a motion that we approve the variance for it to be put in the right of way on the condition that an architect or an engineer has approved the securing of the pole in a safe way to last throughout the elements.
Second everything you just said.
Sure, if I could write it down. Okay. We're going to have a variance for pole sign conditionally, provided the pole sign meets the current code requirements of the OBC, and they will resubmit a proper site plan showing the location, at which time we'll get final approval. So right now, they're getting a conditional approval to go forward with it. Okay, any discussion? Call the roll. Mr. Smedley?
Yeah.
Captain Wheeler?
Yeah.
Okay, Chief. Wilcox? 3-1, it passes. So I think that's what we need. We do need better engineered drawings, so exactly what it's going to be, the colors. That's going to have to go to the architectural review board for review. But at least you have the variance required to go ahead with the project.
Now, Mr. Secretary, let me ask you a question about the third one, which is the first one. If they're not here, then we don't hear their case?
If no one's here representing their case, I suggest you might table it.
Okay. I move that we table docket number 07-2014 because there is no representative to explain the project.
Okay.
I'll second
Okay. We have a motion to table 07-2014 for 13125 Euclid for a lack of a no-show on the part of the owner. Any discussion?
Reschedule.
Reschedule.
Table, yeah.
For the next BZA meeting. The next regularly scheduled BZA meeting.
discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll call the roll. Chief Smedley,
Yeah.
Captain Wheeler,
Yeah.
and Chief Wilcox.
Yeah.
Thank you. That concludes it. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn this BZA meeting.
Second.
Second, 30.
Captain Wheeler made a motion, Smedley seconded.